This is day 952 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. This week's Arukh HaShulchan Yomi sponsor last Erev Shabbos Kodesh Parshas Vayigash by anonymous donor V'Chavit Shabbos Kodesh. Today we are doing Siman Taf Reish Mem Yud Gimel to Yud Tes. Yud Gimel. Davar Pashalu, it's obvious. There's actually Mr. Potem so that somebody who's in Tsar, who's brings them from the Sukkah, the Kshietz Min HaSukkah, it's like a Tsar Menu. That's if when he leaves the Sukkah, the Tsar will go away from him. In other words, he'll no longer be a state of Tsar. I mean, a Tsar with Tsar mean a Tsar Chinogeli and Sukkah. If it's a tangential Tsar, which doesn't come from that, doesn't have to do with the Sukkah itself, Abishoch Liot Shabala Tsar Tzorchis Breidus, even though clearly the Baal Tsar would do best in a isolated location. But with Sukkah Lakos, and he has no no privacy in the Sukkah. So he better for not to be the Sukkah. Nevertheless came lava Sukkah Garden since it's not the Sukkah which causes him anguish. He can't exempt himself from the Sukkah. Therefore, the Ovel is chayv in Sukkah. The Tsar Zayenu Mipnei Sukkah, the anguish he has not because the Sukkah Api Shetov Yosef Shabbos domain, even though it would be better for him to sit silently with Pinat's base on the corner of his house. Nevertheless, he's required to sit in Sukkah. Vonin near Potem in Sukkah, and Onen, tell me between the death of his relative and the burial is exact. It seems that he's Potem from Sukkah. Kamoshi Potem comments a good example all the other mitzvahs. Mishnah Berurah says Pinat's is not sure if it's only chayv but Sukkah or not, because Yaakov says that he's Potter. I think it's the Minchas Chinuch Mechadish that there's an Isser Aseh, that there's such a concept of Isser Aseh, to eat outside the Sukkah. And therefore, according to Minchas Chinuch, you will not be even, since it's an Isser Aseh, again, it was a new radical concept, which the thing Minchas Chinuch is Mechadish, but it's not outlandish. You have a similar thing about tzitzis. And Ovel is not Potter from having a tzitzis on his four-corner garment. Those would be the bittul asay is an isser asay, and here too, perhaps according to that, the reasoning to sit outside sukkah is an isser asay, and therefore would not be permitted. But the Arukh HaShulchan is meko. Lashon Arukh Chavheim base is in brackets. Lashon Arukh Chavheim base Ovel the boiler isube daite. Ovel has to calm himself down. Pirush Rashi Chobo level Yashi daito. He has to calm himself down the mitzvah to do the mitzvah kadoshono. So it seems to indicate that if it's not possible in any way, shape, or form to calm himself down, Party's example. Near Shazel Mashkasam Arvansi, you can do b'shem Tanya. The Mamesa Chaviv Kokach. The Tanya here is not the Baal Tanya. Everyone came before the Baal Tanya. Tanya is the Rishon. That if the mace was so precious to him, that they can't remove it from his heart. Party is exempt from Sukkah and Sham. Rashi b'chidushav Sham Kas Hashem Rabo Dahachi Perusha that Sukkah miyashev is daito. So no, the Rashi was a different interpretation of the Gemara. Unlike Rashi, Rashi says you have to be miyashev your das to sit in the Sukkah. The Rashi says the Sukkah is miyashev your das on account of it being in the mitzvah. You can't gam b'chaviv chayiv. So that's the case. Even the person, a near and dear person had passed away, you would still have to sit in the sukkah. You can't denu shel tanya tzarich in. So the halacha tanya is not so simple. The Mishnah Berurah says it shows Yaakov argues in the Tanya. Yodal chasav atur the Rambam chasav the chasav kol shivas yimei mishnah potem min sukkah. All the 7 days of the Sheva Brachos is exempt from Sukkah. He and his best men, the groom's party, and all the men and people who are participating in the Simcha of the Chuppah. Joshvim are not called Oskim Mitzvah of getting married, although they're obviously getting married, because it's just because the Messiah Chasam they're not considered to be part and parcel of that the mitzvah which exempts them staying in the sukkah. Chayim b'chol mitzvahs are required to do all mitzvahs. Chasan abi shapatim b'chol mitzvahs. Chasan, even though he's exempt from all the mitzvahs, chayim only not all of them obviously, but exempt from many other mitzvahs. Chayim b'sukkah shef shel esma b'sukkah he's liable. He has to do because he can be happy in the sukkah. Kan l'shono. Ugmar before Rambam. The Gemara seems to say like the Rambam. These are Sham Shesh Chmiyat. It just says that some people are maching themselves in the sukkah. And he was Yerushalmi. So the Yerushalmi is similar. So very around the same Midas Chasidus. Ram holds it's Midas Chasidus. Those people are maching in the sukkah. Rosh Baseka Machmir. The Rosh holds no. Mikra Din like a Machmir. But I will say about the Shulchan Aruch Siva Pasku Karambam. The Shulchan Aruch Paskins in line with the Rambam. The top two Shulchas, and the reason why Chaz is exempt, there's no simcha except, back then, in a case in the chuppah, and in conjunction with the makom suda. It's an open place. He's biasly small. Somebody will be embarrassed to rejoice there. And the groom's party have to be by the groom. Nearly close to be a man. That's all that was in their day and age. And even about the same Rabbi Arva called Simcha. To now, and all of the Simcha is diluted, because of our great iniquities. Maybe they'll constantly smoke kokach. And Chosanim not that happy. Should add that. Once at a time during Sheb Brachos, the Kala was mutter to her Chosan. Because we assume the Dam Sulim was not considered to be Tomei. But now, when the Kala is also to her Chosan after Bir Rishona, the rest of Sheb Brachos cannot be considered to be such a happy time. In addition, because the Simcha, which you're talking about, which requires privacy and obviously intimacy, and they're not going to be intimate if she has a status of Nida. So therefore, this halacha would not apply to Bisman Hazeh. Perhaps that's what the Arukh HaShulchan means, but he's certainly not phrasing that way. Besides that, he got married before Yotzev, because you don't get married on Yotzev. It's interesting because she was a Mishta Sudos Kedua. By us, we don't make a Mishnah each day of the seven days of Sheb Brachos. Nowadays, I believe most people do, but it's not required. They all got us in the sukkah. Mr. Buddha says that the Akram say Chassid should be machmir in the sukkah, but not make a bracha. And the Shoshvinim eat because they don't have to make a bracha, but when they eat at home, they are chayav in sukkah. They have to make a bracha. I'm not sure why a chassid should not make according to Arukh HaShulchan's logic. The chassid should also make a bracha in the sukkah b'zman hazeh. So this, he says that this is the primary rationale of this Russian. Let's see where it says next sif. That's why because Rabbeinu Ramah, the Ramah writes this is bris milah, the Suda bris v'chein Suda shochli made so lettuce, and the Suda people had a custom to eat by the woman who gave birth. Chayam b'sukkah, they are required it have to be in a sukkah. Akal shara. V'adekenu, so like this. The ein zeh k'simchas ches makala. Even when if we say simchas ches makala, different. This is not like simchas ches makala. I feel like Sudas mitzvah, you'll consider Sudas mitzvah, come arei cholim with lechol b'sukkah. They can eat in the sukkah. V'gam Sudas mitzvah, avi rak bris milah. Also, Sudas mitzvah only applies to the bris. Lo Sudas lodos, not that meal by the woman who just gave birth. Why not? When yodim Sudas akla, we never heard of such a Sudas in our day and age. V'chein lailo shiv ne'amilash going vachnacht, when the kids come to say Shema by the Rachanoilach, Eina Kedayis Likaras Mitzvah. It's not really worthwhile going to this mitzvah. Nowadays, we don't really make a suit out of it. Maybe we just have the kids say Shema and take Peklach. But I think maybe they're still by the Sfarim. They do make a simcha out of it. But nevertheless, he says it's not considered to be enough of Sudas mitzvah. Leave us out from the sukkah to exempt oneself of sukkah. The chayin shari kol mini Sudas and all other types of meals as well. Marishim named Ribui Anoshim She'en Cholim Kulam Likonas the Sukkah Bris Milah V'Ochlim Nisharim Babai V'Ochlim Hanisharim Babais. I saw that people, and there are many people, and they can't all get into the Sukkah by the bris. They eat even if they're inside the house. V'Nil Sheter Gomerhu. It's completely permitted. Came She'en Lam Sukkah Have a Kol Kidrosh Sukkah, since they have no Sukkah in which they can sit because it's at capacity. They're like people who are traveling or exempt from the sukkah. The Bir Halacha writes that for the Magen Avraham, it sounds like if the sukkah is too small to hold even 10 people, it's mutter to eat outside the sukkah. But according to Gra, even in this scenario, it's usher. There are people going to say it's us as well. Arukh HaShulchan seems to say it's mutter. You can't say they should take turns, that the later shift should wait till the earlier shift finishes eating. And leave. Then they should eat. When I found such a svara, became end of the so if that was the case, there'd be no end. Not sure he means there's no end. People constantly coming and in many shifts. Come Yars Hashem, nevertheless somebody who's the Yeresh Shamayim. Yader L'chol B'Sukkah should be Mahader, he should be meticulously in the Sukkah. Calls him meaning Mizoinus. And the Gemara itself doesn't make clear such a distinction between meaning Mizoinus and other types of food. But Arukh HaShulchan made it's not the first time he's made a distinction between Mizonos and other types of food. He says explicitly also meaning B'Moya Mizoinus by Mizoinus, and obviously Amotzi is including Mizoinus disrespect. Avashar meaning Muslim, but other types of food, Leislamba, that's not a problem. The interfuse El Arai Ba'alma. They eat anything else because it'd be a snack. Our American meals, where we don't wash, the meal nowadays would also be considered to be a snack. From this perspective, obviously we are nonetheless machmetitim in the sukkah if possible, but theoretically, from the Gemara's perspective, from the perspective of halacha, a meal without bread or mazonos is not really a meal. A Ba'am was just a snack. Tesayin, Shalini Mishnah, we learned in the Mishnah. Shluchei mitzvah, people who are involved on the road to do a mitzvah. So their examples in sukkah. Okay, but there's mitzvah. People going on the road to do mitzvah, going to liam oteret, such as Torah, like Bilpnei Rabbah, or to greet their rav, leave the shluim, or redeem captives. These are shluchei mitzvah. Pturim afilu shas kaniyos, and they're exempt even when they are encamped on the road. Moshe Shei B'Raisa Sham, like the B'Raisa says, Hochin Dvar mitzvah pturim. Ben b'yom ben balel. People going to a mitzvah, they're exempt both during the day, when they're traveling, at night when they're at rest. Even though they're only walking during the day, they're part at night. But town reason is if we make him toil to find a sukkah, he's batel, he's going to have to desist from his travel during the day. So therefore, if you can obtain a sukkah at night without any bother, he has to sit at night in the sukkah. You can't sleep in the sukkah in a way which is optimal. And that's when, I guess, because take him time to find a sukkah, put up a sukkah, whatever it is, and therefore it's going to diminish his capacity to cover ground during the day. Part is exempt. Why shluchim mitzvah exempt? Because they have a principle, also mitzvah patim min mitzvah. So as well, involved mitzvah A is exempt from mitzvah B. Mitzvah sukkah low, you have lenu me mitzvah show say sukkah. So therefore, the thing sukkah is not going to delay or causing difficulty in doing the mitzvah he's doing. He does have to send the sukkah. It was a mitzvah to know this. They have to analyze the situation. That the sukkah is likely to negate this mitzvah or not. Yud Zayin. Otani, we also learned. People who are traveling during the day, example sukkah during the day, they're traveling not for the bar mitzvah. Right? They have to sleep in sukkah at night. People traveling at night, they're exempt from sukkah at night. They're during the day. They're traveling both day and night, they're part of the sukkah both times. Pirush Rashi with Tesis. Close the nafla miteshu kein taduru. This is derived from the principle of teshu kein taduru. The kishem she'en adam nimnam l'teis mi beso l'darko l'schar, just like a person does not refrain during the rest of the year to leave his house to go on his way for commercial activities or some other purpose. So too, he doesn't have to refrain from leaving his sukkah. This is what it means to say. When he's going on the road during the day, sukkah, he said, even if you come across a sukkah, you don't have to tarry there to eat. But you just go travel the normal fashion, and you eat wherever you are at the time when you would normally eat. You don't have to arrange your eating according to the presence of sukkahs. The Shabbat says, except if you can find a sukkah at the time he's eating without any difficulty. But at night when he's not walking, sleeping, but you have to sukkah if you came across the sukkah on your way at night. The Shabbat says more than that. It says you have to make an effort. Maybe you'll find somewhere nearby some Jew has a sukkah. So requires a bit more effort on your part. But if he does, so if he does find a sukkah, v'yolin sham, he should sleep there. He's not allowed to depart from there. Not sleep in the sukkah. People who are traveling, they have to eat in the sukkah during the day. Pug and buff, they come across it. I made a bug but sukkah. We don't come across the sukkah part to except we don't tell me he has to make a sukkah. But there, it's like you don't build a house when you're traveling. Okay, it's a sukkah there, so you don't make a sukkah when you're on the road. Look, everyone says you need to make yourself a sukkah. This is astonishing. Certainly you have to be in place for a long time. Then that would be like your house. You have to make a sukkah. But when he sleeps there or even tarries a day or two, how can you require him make a sukkah there? The bracket says somebody who's watching grain out in the fields has to sukkah because they spend a long time out there, as we shall see. This also becomes clear from the words of the Ramah. Shchas writes in his halacha as follows: it's only they can find a sukkah. If they can't find a sukkah, they can go in the normal way. Even though they won't sit in it neither during the day nor at night. It's like any other day of the year. So he doesn't forsake his travels because of his house. And even though it's only working during the day, he's exempt of the night because you don't require to make yourself a whole house wherever you travel. Those people go to villages, to demand their debts. They don't have sukkahs in those villages. They should be machmir themselves. To go back home every night in the sukkah. Even though there's time to be makel, even in that case. Nevertheless, somebody who is stringent may be blessed. End quote from the Ramah. Meaning the whole people don't go frequently to villages, which are around the city. There's sometimes that during the entire year as well, they go back home every night. Gamken came. Therefore, they should also in sukkahs. And it's also part because you go back then frequently at night back to your home. Nevertheless, Medina, according to strictly of law, can't make them go back home. Because most of the time, they don't go back home until they spend a long time out in the field. Therefore, it's appropriate to be stringent. Because sometimes they come back every night. In any event, we learn from what he says. There's no requirement to make a sukkah, but if you find a sukkah, you should sit there. You test people watch the town during the day. Watchmen are potter from sukkah during the day. Required to sukkah at night. People watch the city at night. They're exempt from sukkah at night. They require to sukkah during the day. That's when they have to circumnavigate the city. But it's watching inside the city somehow. They've got to go to sukkah and eat. But night, if they're watching, they have to stay on guard. They doze off, then obviously they're dozing off outside. So that depends what type of shmira you are doing.